Saturday was ESW Wrestle Bash in Niagara Falls, Frontier Fire Hall. It's ESW's biggest show of the year. And every year they do this Ilio DiPaolo Memorial Cup Match, so people might know who Ilio DiPaolo is. We're not far from Ilio DiPaolo's restaurant right now. Have you been to Ilio DiPaolo's? Never? It's an Italian restaurant. So Ilio DiPaolo was a famous wrestler from like the 50s, 60s from Buffalo. He opened this restaurant in Blaisdell, and he's well known. He passed away in the 90s, but he's well known in the community and stuff. And WCW did some tribute shows to him. Anyway, ESW like talked to the family a few years ago, and they got. Am I right? Oh, okay. ESW talked to the family a few years ago and like got their okay to name this cup match after him. And so we've been doing, for the last 6 years, we've been doing this 6-way scramble match named after Ilio DiPaolo. And so this year, this past Saturday, it was the main event for the first time, and myself, Kevin Blackwood, and Daniel Garcia were a part of it. So was Sean Carr, Rhett Tice from Ring of Honor, Kenny Dykstra, who's in the Spirit Squad, who used to be in WWE. So the 6 of us were in it, and the last, it's elimination style. So like one guy gets eliminated until there's one person left, that's the winner. And it ended with, the last 3 were Blackwood, Garcia, and me. And then Garcia and Blackwood went at it. Garcia eliminated Blackwood. Again, it's the main event of the show. And then it's down to me and Garcia. And I looked at the time now, because I've been able to watch it back now. Match went 28 minutes, which is pretty long. It's longer than it was supposed to go, and longer than any other cup match before. They've been like, I think, somewhere between 18 and 25 up to this point. So it went like 28 minutes. So the last segment was me versus Garcia, and it went like 7 minutes alone, which was much longer than I expected it to go. But anyway, I don't know, it was a really special moment for me, and like, there are moments in wrestling where, I want to say this in 2 different ways. There are really special moments in wrestling sometimes, like as far as like the stories that we tell and the narrative that we tell. Like there's like coming of age moments where like somebody finally wins something. And like I've been ESW champion before. That was like 2012 the last time I was ESW champion, so that's like 6 years ago. And I've grown a lot as a wrestler since then. And I've changed a lot as a wrestler since then. I think I'm a lot better as a wrestler since then. And all the wrestlers in ESW and in this region are way better now than they were then. So I feel like it's kind of on another level. So anyway, I won the cup. I beat Garcia, tapped him out with the arm bar, and as far as a storyline, as a presentation to an audience, it felt like a big crowning moment. But like more importantly, to me, it felt like the culmination of like this multi-year effort that we've been doing here to improve wrestling, especially with the 3 of us from Grapplers being in there at the end and doing as well as I'm told that we did. I guess like it matters less what I think of it, and it matters to me more like not what people think of it, but like the way that people felt, the way that people told me that they felt about it. Like when I won the match and I had the cup, I had this trophy, and I went around and shook hands with fans around the guardrail, and then I went to the back and I went through the curtain, and there's like every wrestler's there, and like Blackwood's here and Garcia's here, and Garcia's just like he's just crying, he's got tears falling down his face, and he's like just breaking down, and everybody's clapping and everything, everybody's hugging me, and I don't know, it was a really big moment. I don't know, if I never wrestled another day, like that would be the day in wrestling in my life that I remember more than anything else. I think I was saying a couple weeks ago, like the things that I think most people remember in wrestling, that I remember in wrestling, is not so much like what we did in the ring. Like what I'll remember about that night is not so much like, oh, the big moment where I finally won the match or some cool spot in the match. I'll remember more than anything going through the curtain and the way that people made me feel and the way that people treated me afterward. And I think a lot of people who do stuff publicly, not that we're huge stars here, but I think a lot of people who do stuff publicly feel that way, or maybe should recognize more that that's the important stuff in life, is that it's not so much like these big moments in front of these lights that are the important stuff. It's the way that, you make people feel and people make you feel kind of on an individual basis when all these cameras are off, or when you're not on the stage and in the ring and in front of the lights anymore. Like that's the stuff that I think, again, like I said before, I think that's the stuff, like when we're all done, that we're gonna remember more than anything, more than like, oh, the time that I won the belt, the time that I won the trophy. It's kind of the relationships that we build with people and the way we grow together, the way that we've grown together at Grapplers and become better wrestlers. I was telling Blackwood and Garcia after the match, and it goes for a lot of people here, that when I came here, when I started training people here, I was a good wrestler, but my fundamentals have gotten way better since then. My wrestling has gotten way better since then. And I was just a wrestler, wrestling once in a while, or wrestling maybe once a month or a couple times a month. And I'm not wrestling a whole lot more than that still today, but we started training people and we started growing some wrestlers, and then we grew a few more. We made, some people who started getting booked in places, and this ball really started to get going. And we've got some people here who are really starting to pick up some success and who are really starting to get some people's attention around the wrestling world, and some people who I think have a lot of potential to be really successful in wrestling. And to see that around me, and to see that we created that, we taught him and him and him. We taught these wrestlers how to do the things that they're doing. It's inspired me to say, well, why can't I improve myself and get a better look, work out more, get in shape more, get better gear, become a better wrestler, do stuff in the ring that's better, challenge myself as far as my in-ring style and the moves that I do and the way that I perform. So, the wrestler that I was on Saturday is not the wrestler that I was 2 or 3 years ago before I started coming here as much and before we built up everything that I feel that we built up here. So what we've done here, I've taught a lot of people how to be wrestlers, and I'm really proud of everything that they've done, but they've taught me a lot about how good I can be, and they've taught me a lot about how to be a better person to people. Because there's a lot of people here who have a lot of emotional maturity, especially for their age, and there's a lot of people here who show examples of just treating people with kindness that I've learned a lot from and need to continue to learn from.